In this video, we're going to go through all the different menu options in the AirList application. So this is the home screen. The top left, you'll see a little hamburger, they call it. In this case, it's got a smaller third part there. You click on that, it opens up the menu. So the menu actually has 4 subsections: navigation, assistance, premium services, and then edits. We're going to open them all up just so you can see them all. We're going to go through each one. So the first is the home screen. When you click on the home screen, you're taken right back to the home page, or the home screen in the application. The search capability is very interesting. It works similarly to like a Google. You'll see where it says question, that's actually a drop-down menu. Search lets you search for text inside questions. So there's 100 questions inside the 941 items, inside any notes, and the notes would be things that you or other users collaborating with you put in, and then all would let you search in all of them. So for questions, we're just going to first look for veteran. So we look for vet, and sure enough, there's the question related to veterans. It's question BN, and if we click on it, it takes us to question BN and then all of the items, of which it's showing there's nothing's been done on any of them yet. So that's for question. For items, let's try taxes, or just tax, and we'll search for tax. And as you see, there's, looks like more than 20 different items related to taxes. Let's try all, and let's search for plane. Oh, typo. So here are all the different things where the word plane comes up. As you can see, there's a vehicles question for question BA. And then below it, you can see a whole bunch of items, well, 3 exactly actually, with respect to items that possibly might involve planes. So that's the search function. Next is reports. So reports is a premium subscription service. So there's 6 reports. We're not going to go through all of them here, but there is another video that talks about what the reports are and shows you examples. And you can select an individual reports, or you can just select all reports and then you click email, and it sends you all the reports in PDF format, separate ones by the way, to your email address. Your progress, we're not going to go through this in detail. This is a separate video as well that you can go look to explain this better. There are 3 circle charts. The first 2 at the top relate to the question. So if you can see 72 in the first denominator and 28 in the second, those are the 100 questions. The questions chart relates to the first 7 categories. And then the less common is the last 8th category, or the more obscure things. Below that, you have an items chart that shows you both your a fraction with respect to the item completion and then also percentage. There's a little difference in how things are calculated per the colors. Just really quickly, for the top 2, green and red means it's completed, meaning that the answer is either yes or it's no. Blue is the same as white in the home screen, just for contrast. And then yellow is for unsure. So blue means that you haven't answered it at all. Yellow means that you designated it as unsure and you're coming back to it. The item colors are blue for unanswered again. Green means that it's an open item that's being worked on. So it's something that you've said, we need to do this, we're either working on it, but it hasn't been completed. Red means it was something that needed to be done and it was completed. And then gray is it wasn't applicable. And that could come from either you're indicating that it wasn't applicable, or if you answer no to a question, then all of the items beneath it become not applicable. So that's your progress screen. This is very useful overview and dashboard. This is available to both basic users and also premium users. Item number. So what this does is lets you go directly to an item. So let's say somebody asks you a question about item 752. Hey, where are we? What's the status? You type in 752 here. It's a telephone keypad. Hit enter. it takes you to item 752. You see nothing's been done on it yet. And let's say somebody said, hey, we've determined that's not applicable. So you could just hit the not applicable to change it. And there you've updated that. So the item number screen takes you directly to a specific item within the IDRS. So help is a series of search for FAQs and also has 5 videos from our website. Support and bug both have the same structure, so I'm going to describe them. So support is a premium subscription service that if you need help with respect to using the application, we'll be happy to let you know. Again, we have more than 40 videos and we also have more than 100 FAQs. So I think if you look through there, hopefully you'll be able to find the answer for what you're looking for. But if not, feel free, if you're a premium user, to submit a support ticket and we'll get back to you. So within there's a drop down of the type of issue. The last thing in the drop down is other. So that's always a good default. There's a phone number. We're probably not going to be calling you, but just in case you want to put that in there. Then there's a screen name with the issue of what you're trying to figure out. If you know it, great, put it in. If you don't worry about it. And then description, please be very clear with respect to what you're trying to figure out or understand. One thing to remind you of support is support in using the application. It's not in answering IDRS questions or the IDRS items or any of that more detailed work. That's the questions for those of what we provide is available in the knowledge base, but we do not consult with respect to the answers for your deceased on that. The last part of it is the attachment. Sorry, there's an attachment where if you had like a, here I'm going to attach something here. This would be, the bug screen is exactly like this, so we're going to just skip over that. But let's imagine, we needed to show a past issue. So here was an issue we had. We've attached a screen with an error on it. We then, hold on a second. I'm just going to make this real simple. What is this? Just going to send that and, forgot to put an issue in there. So I don't really know what this issue is, so I'm just going to use other as a default. So that sends off a ticket. That would have been for a bug. There's a bug screen to do that, but it's the exact same thing. And it gives me a ticket number for follow-up. So that's for support screen and bugs. So if we go down to change password, here you put in your old password, you put in your new password, and then your confirm password. Again, we encourage everyone to use a separate password for every application. We know that's cumbersome, but given the hacking that goes on, we always like to say it, if government agencies with full-time security teams can get hacked, then everybody can get hacked. And somebody hacks your password from some other site, then they have access to all your other sites. The good thing of how we structure this, we don't encourage anybody to put personally identifiable information on here. So, we really don't think there's that much at risk unless you put things that you shouldn't be in the notes, like credit card numbers and things of that nature. Report bugs, we already discussed. So premium services. So if we click on the upgrade premium, that takes us back to whatever store, whether it be Apple or the Google Play Store. And here we can see the different options of the premium. If we want to upgrade to premium yearly, or if we want to add the knowledge base, we can go do that here. And your premium because you'll see the little gold star with the check mark. So manage other users is very useful. So here, this shows that Joe Martin is the master user, my brother, and then Jane Martin would be my older sister, and she is a write user. And then Luke Martin, my younger brother, would be the read-only user, and so he could not change anything, but he's able to go through and navigate through in the app. So if you wanted to add someone new, you would click on the little person with the plus sign at the bottom, and then you would add their email, and you can only do this if you're the master user. Joe can do this, and then put their name, first name, last name, and decide do they want to be write, read only, or you could hand off the master role to them. So that's how you invite new users. Also, it shows you pending. If there were any users that we'd invited that were pending that hadn't accepted yet, it would show you that here over on the right. You click on the pending. So we go back to the left and we clicked on user. So that is managing other users, and that is sort of the core of collaboration and working with other people. So all 3 of my siblings would be working on Edward Martin, our father, with respect to using the Airlist application. Clear data. So clear data, I'm not going to click on it. Well, I will, but I'm going to click no. So If you're a master user, this would delete all your answers to the questions, all the status for the items, and all the notes. So it's literally like an erase pad. If you're a non-master user, it does something different. Since you don't have control over those pieces of data, it simply exits you from the application. So you are no longer connected to, in this case, it would be Edward Martin. If Jane or Luke were logged in and they wanted to go do their father-in-law, they could hit clear data and it would exit them from Edward Martin's deceased account. So let's go to the last section. So edit deceased. So in here, you can see the different deceased and name, where they passed, the date of passing, where they were born. I put an error in here for the date of birth so we could go change it. So we click on edit and we go in there and then we change it to 1932. And let's go to July 5th. And we hit confirm, and it changes that date, and then we save it. So that is edit deceased. Notes is a premium subscription feature. It's actually very powerful. So there's 3 types of notes that you can add. General notes are just sort of top-level general notes about the deceased. And you can see we have a bunch of general ones that each one of my 3 users added. Then you can add notes for specific questions. And if you select the note button while you're at a question, it will pre-populate it for that note, so you won't have to select that. So here you can see for question AQ, question Z, question BU, question Q, it's in chronological order when people put them in. It's not in the letter order. And then we have the same thing in items. In items, it's done by numbers because it's item number C636, 523. It shows who entered the note, what the note's title is, and then the specifics. So that's notes. It's actually extremely powerful. You see the button on the bottom to add them. You can go add a note, and we'll just click on that. And here's where you add a note. You put in a title. You'd hit the drop down. It would show you all the different items in this case to add the note to. So that is notes. Undo just simply undoes whatever the last operation you did. If you answered a question or if you change the status of an item, if you hit undo, it's kind of like a backspace. You probably won't use it much because the reality is if you answer a question, you want to change it, it's right there. So you could, just change it right in front of yourself. Reopen closed items. This is call it the purgatory or the limbo for where all the questions that are no go, and then where all the items that were answered either not applicable or have been closed. So in here, you could come in here and you would see all the unsure, yes, and the no questions. And if you wanted to, you could change a no question back to yes, and that would change it, and we'll do that right now. That would change it to green, and it comes back into the fold. So that, and log out is logging out of the application. So you click on that, it will log you out of the application, and you can either go enter into another deceased account, or you can come back to this one whenever you so choose. Again, we've emphasized there's not PII, at least not lots of it in here other than your password and whatever you put into notes. So we would just encourage people just leave the application on all the time, versus logging in, logging out. You'll save yourself some time. So that is the menu for the Airlist application.